These slashers don't just kill, they hunt. Buried in the shadows of mainstream horror, they're blood-soaked, merciless, and completely unhinged. These 10 hidden gems will rip through your nerves and leave nothing behind. Number 10. A classic horror story. A blood-stained camper van, a detour into the woods, and a group of strangers stranded in a nightmare that's too perfect to be real. In the film directed by Roberto De Feo, nothing is what it seems, and that's the point. Drawing on slasher tropes, folk horror, and cult terror, the film seduces you with familiarity only to dismember every expectation. A masked cult, eerie wooden houses, and grotesque rituals hint at something ancient and unrelenting. But the real horror lies behind the curtain, a meta-twist that turns the genre inside out. What begins as a traditional gore-soaked survival tale evolves into a scathing reflection on horror itself. With haunting visuals, sudden brutality, and a chilling score, a classic horror story is less a tribute and more a trap, where every scream was scripted and you're already part of the show. Number 9. The town that dreaded Sundown. In a town haunted by its own cinematic past, the line between legend and reality bleeds red. The director revives the ghost of a 1946 killer called the Phantom, who once terrorized Texarkana and now returns with a vengeance. This isn't just a sequel, it's a chilling hybrid of fiction and folklore, where a copycat slayer uses the original film as inspiration for a new wave of brutal murders. As bodies fall and the town slips into paranoia, one survivor must uncover the truth hidden beneath decades of silence and fear. Blending classic slasher elements with a modern, self-aware twist, the film plays like a cursed echo, where each scream reverberates from history. Number 8. Wrong Turn. A hike through the Appalachian Trail turns into a descent into savagery and Wrong Turn, but this isn't the mutant cannibal nightmare you remember. Directed by Mike P. Nelson, this reimagining trades inbred killers for something far more organized and far more disturbing. When a group of city dwellers veers off the path, they stumble into the foundation, a hidden society that has lived untouched by time, justice, or mercy. Captured, judged, and sentenced by archaic laws, the hikers must confront a horror that isn't feral, it's calculated, ancient, and self-righteous. The film twists the slasher formula into a folk horror tale where morality is blurred and survival demands unthinkable choices. Number 7. Tragedy Girls. High school fame demands blood in Tragedy Girls, where popularity isn't earned but it's carved. Directed by Tyler McIntyre, this sharp, candy-coated slasher follows two best friends, Sadie and Michaela, who run a true crime blog while secretly orchestrating the very murders they cover. With masks, machetes, and weaponized selfies, they turn their sleepy town into a slaughterhouse, all for likes, shares, and a taste of viral glory. But as the body count rises, so does the pressure and loyalty cracks when ambition takes a darker turn. Beneath the neon humor and sarcastic charm lies a sinister truth. The real horror is how easily violence can be glamorized. Tragedy Girls is a savage blend of satire and slasher, where friendship is fatal and fame is forever until you're replaced. Number 6. Mindhunters.
Jesus! No!
On a secluded FBI training island, a group of profiler trainees faces a terrifying truth. One of them is a killer. In Mindhunters, directed by Rennie Harlan, a psychological exercise turns into a deadly game when carefully staged murders start claiming lives in brutal and methodical fashion. Each death is a taunt, designed to exploit personal fears and hidden weaknesses and forcing the survivors to question not only their training, but each other. The island, isolated and rigged with deadly traps, becomes a puzzle box soaked in paranoia. Blending slasher structure with procedural thriller intensity, the film tightens its grip with every reveal, pushing its characters to the edge of their sanity. Number 5. Severance. Team building becomes terror in Severance, where a company retreat spirals into slaughter. Directed by Christopher Smith, this British horror blends sharp satire with brutal slasher chaos as a group of office employees ventures into the remote woods for bonding exercises, only to stumble into the hunting ground of vengeful killers. The corporate hierarchy crumbles fast as jokes give way to panic, and PowerPoint presentations are replaced with bear traps and bloodshed. What makes Severance uniquely horrifying is its collision of mundane workplace dynamics with primal fear, where memos and machetes exist in the same breath. Number 4, Happy Death Day. Her birthday is a death sentence over and over again. College student Tree Gelbman finds herself stuck in a blood-soaked time loop, reliving the day of her murder until she can unmask her killer. Each repetition reveals new clues, new suspects, and new layers to Tree's seemingly perfect life. The film blends slasher horror with dark comedy, turning a campus full of cliches into a deadly playground of secrets and surprises. But behind the masks and stabs lies something deeper. A second chance to right her wrongs before the final cut. Number 3, The House That Jack Built. Jack is not just a killer, but he's an artist, and murder is his masterpiece. Directed by Lars von Trier, viewers are dragged through the chilling confessions of a highly intelligent, deeply disturbed serial killer as he recounts 5 of his most notable murders. Each act of violence is presented with cold precision, wrapped in philosophical musings and suffocating nihilism. This isn't a slasher in the traditional sense. It's a grim exploration of the mind behind the monster, where the horror lies not in the gore, but in the justifications. Jack's descent is methodical, layered, and terrifyingly articulate, building toward a final destination steeped in myth and madness. Number 2, Bedevilled. On a sun-drenched island, cruelty festers beneath the calm. In Bedevilled, a woman escapes the suffocating indifference of city life only to witness a far more brutal reality on her childhood island. There, her old friend Boknam endures relentless abuse at the hands of villagers too cruel to care and too cowardly to stop. But years of pain rot into something darker, and when the final blow lands, Boknam's suffering erupts into a savage, unstoppable reckoning. This isn't a typical slasher, but it slashes deep. With stunning visuals and soul-crushing emotion, the film transforms vengeance into something mythic. What makes Bedevilled so horrifying isn't just the violence. It's how long it was allowed to grow, because when justice is denied, even paradise can birth a monster. Number 1, Trick or Treat. On Halloween night, rules are sacred and those who break them pay in blood. Trick or Treat, directed by Michael Dougherty, is a chilling anthology woven into a single cursed town, where masked children, sinister strangers, and undead visitors collide in a dance of death. Each tale unfolds beneath flickering jack-o'-lanterns and the ever-watchful eye of Sam, a small, silent figure who punishes anyone who disrespects the spirit of Halloween. The film isn't just a slasher, but it's folklore brought to life, where every scare feels like a whispered warning from beyond. With sharp twists, eerie atmosphere, and a reverence for the holiday's darker roots, Trick or Treat carves out a place in horror legend. Here are 4 other movies you have to see. Happy Death Day to You.
Wait!
Tree Gelbman escapes her original time loop only to fall into a new one, but this time with alternate dimensions and a deadlier version of the masked killer. As the lines between science fiction and slasher blur, Tree must once again die over and over to solve the mystery and protect the people she loves. Spree. A fame-obsessed rideshare driver begins live-streaming a killing spree in a desperate attempt to go viral. Blending horror with social media satire, Spree turns the screen into a window of madness, where likes, views, and blood are currency. Candyman. A visual artist unwittingly resurrects the Candyman legend in a gentrified Chicago neighborhood, unleashing a vengeful force tied to racial trauma and forgotten violence. This spiritual sequel to the 1992 classic is both brutal and poetic, where mirrors become portals to death. The Conference. During a corporate retreat in the woods, a group of office workers becomes the target of a masked killer with a grudge. What begins as awkward team-building exercises turns into a bloodbath, where buried workplace tensions are settled with blades.